Congratulations for making it to the second part of this call. Again, I can't edify this structure enough of just having the different Zoom lines to be able to come into. Like, this kind of reminds me of, like, when you qualify for an event, you can go into the event and then you get to that event, right? You guys saw a picture of me at, this Herbalife event called Honors, right? And then you get into the event and there's even like more red ropes to be able to cross over, right? Like, pretty soon I'm coming for Bea and that chairman's club table. But there's all these different ropes to get across inside of Herbalife. And this call is a great representation of that. It's, shows that, great, there's more levels to be able to achieve. And I kind of touched on that a little bit in the previous call. And I had mentioned, in Herbalife, there's always a goal to strive for. There's always something more to be able to go for. And it's not just, it is about the call and it is about getting into that next level, but it's also about who you become along the process. So I really want to honor you and whatever it took for you to achieve that. I believe that this call is 1,000 volume points. Am I correct? To be able to get into this one?
Yeah.
So that's incredible. You guys are truly, on your way to such big things into this company and already doing incredible things. So again, congratulations. Today, I'm just going to share authentically, how I've been able to build my client base and what it's meant for me. And I truly am thinking about, I know that there's probably all different levels on this call. There's people who are probably brand new, just qualified your first 1,000 volume points, as well as there's probably some people who are veterans and have been around for a little while. So really my intention is to provide value for everybody. If you're the newest person, I'm really intending for this to be useful and valuable for you, as well as, the veterans and the people who, you're moving and shaking maybe already in the business, to be able to look at this call from how can I support my newest distributors in building their brand new client base, as you start to build your team and really get into building a royalty. So super, super excited. So I'm going to go ahead. I do have some more slides as well. But I will just say, like, building a client base is one of the most rewarding things that we get to do inside of this company. And I didn't understand that when I first came into the business. Like, when I first came in the business, everything was just happening so fast for me. I take that back. Okay. So I will share something. It started happening fast once I got my confidence. So I really want to focus on the word confidence in this call, because in the very beginning, it took me 9 no's to get to my first yes. So that's not super fast to some of you, because I'm sure some of you got your first yes a lot sooner than me. But that's the reality. It took me 9 people to turn me down, reject me, say no, I don't want to be on Herbalife, whatever they said to me, right? To finally get that very, very first yes. But after that point, here's the thing. You guys are much further along. If you've already done 1,000 volume points, awesome. But what happened after that first yes was the confidence it gave me to continue to go on. I said, if she wants to start, and I'll share a little bit more about my very, very first client, but I was like, you know what? If she wants to start and if she's a yes, there's going to be more people like her. So no matter how long it took you to get your 1,000 volume points, or no matter how many, you might have a client base of, 50, you might have a client base of 5. Whatever it is, that's awesome, because if you've helped one person, which I'm pretty sure every person on this call has, but if you've helped one person, including yourself, that's already amazing. And just get ready for, the rewards that you will reap from sharing these products with other people, retailing the products to other people as well. So I still get text messages from my clients that are, messaging me and just like, thank you so much, Celeste, for taking the time to invest into me. My life has changed. And so with that being said, it means a lot to me. And I'm just going to share a little bit about what I do. You know what? I just had an idea, and I want to, sometimes when you do things, you change pulling up a brand new slide deck simply because this is a call about building a client base. And I'm going to share with you a couple tools and things, nothing I made up. I'm just a really good copycat, just a really good person at being able to take what the leadership has given me and turn it into something. So I'm going to do a screen share right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go ahead and make it bigger. So again, there's these things called the basics, okay? The basics are what is given to us, when we first come into Herbalife and really learn how to build our business. And whether someone's like, Celeste, teach me how to get to senior consultant and hit my first cut of MAP. I believe you guys call it the member action plan, MAP, correct? In the States, it's it's the same thing that we have. It's just a little bit of a different name. But it's the same thing. It's 5 to 7 clients. Herbalife says, you know what, if you want to be successful, focus on 5 to 7 clients. And then every now and then I have those people are like, Celeste, teach me how to get to president's team. And I'm like, okay, calm down. But to get to president's team, you have to master the basics. You have to master the 5 to 7 clients a month and really building that strong retail foundation. And I tell my team this all the time. Your retail foundation is going to set you up to build a much bigger business too down the line, because once you can't skip mastering this step. So I'm just sharing a little bit about one of my first events. Earlier on the call, in the previous call, you heard about me and my first business event. But my very first event that was more around just, being a client in the community was this event called Thank God It's Monday. And my mentor, Style Bell, he runs this event. And it was just a workout called at the Stair Club. So sharing a little bit about this. Now, this is the girl who said yes to me, okay? Nicole Ward. I will never, ever forget Nicole Ward. Now, I want you to think back to your very, very first client. And some of you that may be more recent. And the reason why I want you to think back to your very first client is because I never want you to forget them. And I never want you to overlook what they've done for you. So Nicole has no idea what she did for me as a distributor. I told you 9 people said no to me before her. So when she said yes, it opened up and it unlocked a brand new world for me. I was actually mentally preparing for her to say no. Like I was getting my speech ready. Hey, if you ever change your mind, just come back. Let me know. I'm going to do this for life. And then she actually said yes. And I was like, really? Like, oh, okay. You do want to start with me. And so what that did, again, like I said, it unloaded a whole bunch of confidence that I said, you know what? Fire me up. Nicole said yes, let's go. So again, think back to your very first client and just be in such a state of gratitude for them, okay? I'm also gonna share about my very first distributor. This is the very first person who decided to take the leap and do this business with me. Again, just as much gratitude for my very first distributor because again, a different level of confidence came about inside of that. So I'm just sharing a little bit about more of the history of the beginnings of my business, right? And my very first extravaganza, this is me loading up that same Honda Accord that broke down on the side of the road. I had 4 girls in the back. Now, our extravaganza was in Los Angeles, okay? Keep in mind. So people are like, you're so lucky. Your extravaganza was like 30 minutes down the road. It was actually in Long Beach. But not one person locally said yes to come to the event. All these people like flew in. So half the girls came from Northern California, took a flight down, and then 2 people came from Washington, D.C. Some of you are familiar with the gentleman in my front seat. His name is Sharif Taiwo, a.k.a. Fit Dad, and he's now actually a president's team member. But again, this is someone who started as a client wanting to get results, and the seeds were planted later on for the business. He was exposed to the business opportunity, and he ended up being attracted to it. So this is why building your client base is so key. And the majority of these ladies in the back all started as clients as well, and then later decided to come to extravaganza. So what is the purpose of what we do? And I love simplifying things. Like for me, that's the way that my mind works. I'm like, what is it that we really do as Herbalife distributor? Number one, we got to be our own best clients, right? And then we get new clients. Okay. So we're putting people on these products. However, your sponsor and your mentors teach you the process and the flow of how you do that. And we help them get results. And then we can teach them how to show others to do it and then repeat. It's really that simple. And when my mind could break it down to be in those simple terms, I said, man, I love what we do. I'm going to do this as much as possible. So most of you probably know about this thing. There's a bunch of different sheets, and this one's nothing special. This was just a sheet that I got, and I said, what is this wellness profile thing? So I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with it. There's no right or wrong way to do a wellness profile. As a matter of fact, you don't even need this sheet. You can do a wellness profile on a blank piece of paper. So don't get caught up with what this sheet says. This is simply just asking people and gathering information from your client. The reason I love this is because you can do a wellness profile over the phone, over FaceTime. You can do it around a coffee table. You can do it in a living room. You can do it at a restaurant. You can do it wherever. There are no excuses. No matter what, you can build your business anywhere. And so that's what was really attractive to me about the wellness profile or wellness evaluation. Was to be able to get in a setting, get on. This is how I built my initial client base. And definitely got my first 5 to 7 clients, was just getting people on the phone. You know, I told you guys that I was working in corporate America. And so I had to be very strategic with my time. I'm sure there's a lot of people on this call who work jobs, some type of job at the same time where you're building Herbalife around it. And I want to say it's very powerful because there's a ton of people at your job you can actually expose these products to. And if you're full-time, awesome, more power to you. But for me, I had to really work on time blocking and setting up appointments. So I want to share with you a little bit about my mindset when I was starting to plan and create appointments for these wellness profiles. They'd be like 20-minute appointments. Okay. So what I would do is I said, okay, I have a drive to work, right, in the morning. So I would plan a wellness evaluation, wellness profile on my drive, about 20 minutes, right, on my way to work in the morning. Boom. I would fill that time slot with somebody, okay? So there's work that needs to be done on inviting people to a presentation. And this is just one form of a presentation. A fit camp could be a presentation. An event at your nutrition club could be a presentation. A shake party can be a presentation. Like, really get with your uplines and see the presentations that they're most excited about, and like really take on mastering those things. But the beautiful thing is that this kind of fits into all of those different possible things that you could be doing to build your business. So I love starting with the wellness profile simply because you can do this like no matter where you're at. So I would fit it in. Okay, cool. I'm going to work. Let me go ahead and get somebody there. Now I have an hour lunch break. Okay. So I would say, you know what? On my lunch break every single day, Monday through Friday, I need to find 2 people to be able to schedule in to do a wellness profile on during that hour. So if I was going to lunch at like 1 p.m., I would set up one appointment at 1 p.m. and then I would set up another appointment at 1:30 p.m. To where, you know, I'm filling in the slots of my day, and I'm being very, very strategic with my limited amount of time that I have to work with clients. And then I knew I had about another 20 minutes when I got off of work, driving home. So that was 4 appointments I would strive to set on a daily basis. Now, is everybody going to say yes? No, everyone's not going to say yes, but they were all seeds planted. So as I was starting to plant seeds and create just 4 appointments a day, I might get 1 to 2 clients. Like, honestly, I would be just excited if I got 1 client out of the 4 presentations. Okay. That was like really doing good for me. But I knew that it took doing that work and planting those seeds. Now, a lot of those people who ended up saying no in the beginning, when they saw me being consistent over time, they ended up starting. Some of them started 30 days later. Some of them started 90 days later. Some of them started 5 years later. I literally have people 5 years in who watched me in the very beginning back in 2012 who are now like, you know what? I'm ready now. I'm like, whoa, 5 years later, better late than never. And I'm grateful. So like, you know, you really want to think about like, as long as you're consistently doing this, documenting your journey, sharing this and continuing to represent the brand powerfully. It's amazing the people that will come and they will see your consistency and they will see how you've never given up on them and they will come back. So again, I really, if you are working a job, right, you want to find those holes and gaps inside of your days where you might be able to fill in with presentations. And then as well as that, if you have a mentor, an upline that has certain community events going on, be familiar with what it is that your uplines offer. Okay, maybe it's a Zoom call. Maybe it is a community type event around a nutrition club. Like, really know your options that you have to share with your consumers and your client base or potential clients to expose them to more people. Because what I've found is when you're able to actually bring people in and put them into a powerful setting where they're, hugging and high-fiving other people, it works wonders for also not only getting a client, but keeping a client. And keeping a client is just as powerful as getting a client because it saves so much future work that you have to do when you can create a lifelong client, okay? And I have people who are lifelong clients. They've been ordering from the beginning and they're still consistently placing their orders. Now, how powerful is that when you don't have to – now, attrition is a word which means when people fall off. It's a natural part of our business. So don't get bummed out if some people order once and they don't order again. And really, it doesn't mean they're not going to order again. It just means that they just haven't ordered yet. I still keep that opening for them to be able to come back. And I just look at it as like, you know what? Let me continue to get better. Let me continue to focus on adding more value to my client base so that what I'm doing and what we're doing in Herbalife is super attractive for them to be able to come back. So the wellness profile, creating appointments, again, this is something that's very duplicatable. No matter how someone does the business, we can all set up a one-on-one to be able to expose somebody to the products as well. So to me, I think we've all heard of these key benefits, these 3 key benefits. Again, I didn't make this up. I just heard it when I was a brand new distributor. And I said, wow, this is extremely valuable. And I think some of the most simple things we can tend to overlook. Remember, I told you one of the simplest things in Herbalife is use, wear, talk. And I think there's magic in having things in 3s, okay? So this right here, they said, Celeste, did you know that when you are on your Herbalife nutrition program, you're getting 100% of your daily vitamins and nutrients? I'm pretty sure most of you on this call have been exposed to that. The second part is, hey, Celeste, did you know that when you are on your nutrition program, getting your shakes and, your healthy meals in there, that you're actually meeting this thing called your protein requirement? So now I'm like, wow, I didn't even realize now I'm meeting my protein requirement. That's awesome. And number 3, if you're trying to lose weight, right, you're now able to stay below your caloric ceiling so that you can lose weight, right? How does that sound? So when this was taught to me, it blew my mind. And I think that, again, so many people overlook the power in this. So the reason I share this is because it's been extremely valuable for me to be able to share this with the client and tailor it to the conversation of whatever it is that their goals are. So you saw on the previous page, I'm asking, what are your main health goals? I'm asking somebody about what they're committed to and what they want to accomplish. So by the time I'm getting to these 3 key benefits, I'm already thinking about what it is that they want to achieve. And remember, this isn't about what we want for the client, it's what they want for themselves. And so I share with them, let's just give the example. I had a girl last week and she shared with me, Celeste, I want to be able to lose 20 pounds. I said, okay, awesome. Why is it that you want to lose 20 pounds? What would losing 20 pounds do for you? Right? And so I'm digging a little bit deeper. I'm just going a little bit beyond the surface level of what her goal is. And she was like, I want to be able to play with my kids out in the yard without getting tired. And I'm like, now we're getting somewhere. Okay. So you really want to dig dig 3 levels deep on somebody, on their why they want to be able to get results. Wow. So don't just stop there. Ask more questions about that. You do want to tap into people's pain with what it is that they're going through, because you really need to see what it is that's bringing them to this point to being on the phone with you or being across the table from you in person. And they're really, it's really a gift that you're able to ask somebody more about what it is and why they want to achieve something. Because most people they're living inside of their head and they have nobody to express these thoughts to. So again, you're a complete gift to the person that you're sitting with or you're on the phone with. And so with that being said, she was like, you know what? And also, like, not only just to chase my kids around, but like, my daughter made a comment to me about, my muffin top coming over my pants. Like, basically, like, her daughter made a fat comment to her. And like, you can imagine the point of pain that is, because kids are extremely honest. And, they say what they say. They don't have really filters the way that sometimes us adults do. And so her feelings were a little bit hurt, although she knows that her daughter didn't mean any harm. She's like, I need to do something about this. Like, I'm setting an example for my children. And number two, like, I just want to be at a point of health where I can play with them, have fun with them, and I'm not gasping for air. So knowing this, I can be much more effective in the feedback that I'm giving her. So an action step, something to write down is, am I digging 3 levels deep to find out why somebody wants to lose weight, gain energy, right? So it's something to practice, because when I did this, I could add so much more value to the client, and my rate of a client saying yes started to go up. So I told you I didn't have these skills in the beginning. That's why 9 people said no to me before my first yes. My first yes was just based on luck. I think that she just really wanted the products no matter what. It didn't matter what I said. But as I started to become a more skilled distributor and was able to offer more value to my client base, more people started saying yes. In addition to that, my confidence went up. So I started to use these 3 key benefits to really say, okay, I got it. I know what this person wants. So I'm going to tailor these 3 key benefits. If you can take anything away from this entire call, I would say that it would be this, okay? I'm going to tailor my 3 key benefits to what the person wants, okay? So I said, okay, perfect, right? Her name was Brenda. I said, Brenda, you want to lose, let me plug my computer in so it doesn't die. I said, okay, awesome. So we're going to help you lose 20 pounds, okay? Not only are we going to help you lose 20 pounds, we are going to help you gain the endurance and the conditioning to be able to chase your kids around the yard. And not only are we going to help you do that, we are going to, one second, let me make sure this computer is we are going to help you get to a point where you look the way you want to look, so you can be comfortable inside of your own skin. You can feel good about you, because there's nothing more powerful than a woman feeling attractive, feeling confident, and feeling just unstoppable in who she is. And I said, I'm committed to helping you get there. And I'm going to share how Herbalife can support you in that. Okay. How does that sound? It is going to take work. It's going to take commitment. It's going to take some energy from you. And if you're willing to do that, I can support you. So number 1 is, in your energy levels, it's going to make a huge difference. Okay. You being able to chase your kids around the yard, the average person around the world, period, is not getting enough nutrients. Okay. So what I want to support you in doing is, we're going to be able to supplement in some of these nutrients. Your products are going to make a world of difference inside of your life. And you're going to notice in your day-to-day activity, when you're playing with your kids, your energy levels are going to be better, because now you're going to be getting 100% of your daily vitamins and nutrients, known as your recommended daily of allowance. How does that sound? Now she's like, I'm connecting it to her goals. So she's like, awesome. This sounds great. Okay, perfect. Now, Brenda, you say you want to lose 20 pounds. So I'm going to teach you a couple things. Number 1, meeting your personal protein requirement is going to be massive. A lot of people don't understand how meeting your personal protein requirement is going to help you get to your weight goal. So first of all, number one, having more protein inside of your diet, it keeps you fuller longer. So you having your shakes, you're going to be getting all your vitamins and minerals, plus your protein, plus we're going to teach you how to be able to eat healthy and the things to put in your cabinets, the things to take out of your fridge and all that good stuff. This is going to help you get to your goals. And not only that, when you meet your personal protein requirement, it helps you keep on, it helps you build additional muscle, which is going to keep your metabolism burning faster. And this helps you get to your goals. Boom, made it about her. Number three, we're going to keep you below your caloric ceiling and without compromising your nutrition so that you can get to your goals. How does that sound? So these three key points I have tailored completely around what she wants to accomplish. And I've used it to where now she's like nodding her head. And I always ask people, I've probably already said it in this training, but I'm always asking and checking in with my clients saying, how does that sound? Or does that make sense? Right? Because I want to elicit a reaction, a response from them. And so I'm constantly getting the head nods if I'm with them, or the yes, that sounds good. Because it's almost like you're the expert and you're qualifying them as a person that will be good on your nutrition program. And sometimes I feel like we lose sight as distributors of our value. And when we can really know that we have an amazing product and we're giving somebody a gift, like our whole attitude around presenting these products is going to be different. So now, like, you want to be the person that's leading and controlling the conversation. And when you constantly are having someone say yes and being in agreement with you during a presentation, you are in control of the conversation. And now they are trying to prove to you that they are a good candidate for your nutrition program. So it's really cool how that happens. So anyways, I always tell someone, I say, look, these are the three things we're going to go over. I really go into depth. Obviously this is a buffet. Take what you want. Always listen to your mentors and your sponsors with how they do the business and how they do wellness profiles. This is just a little bit about what I do, but I will mention that these are things that we're going to go over. And once they have committed to being on their nutrition program, that's when they really get the details of how to do their program with me. Because, oftentimes what I notice is that I would go into spending all this time with someone before they purchase the products. And then I would use all this time and this energy, and then maybe they wouldn't end up buying, but they would have this wealth of knowledge, and then they would just be nowhere to be found. So now I'm learning how to really, really like leverage my value. And so when people actually take the step to get on their nutrition program, I would say, look, when you end up getting your products, we're going to go over what nutrient timing is, how to eat every, 2 to 3 hours, eating a healthy breakfast within 30 minutes of waking up, paying attention to the contents of your food, what are your complex carbohydrates, all these things on how to be able to give value to a client. We're going to go over all this stuff when you actually get on your nutrition program. How does that sound? So again, we're keeping it very fun, simple, magical. And that's a little bit about how I've built some of my client base. So I wanted to share some of that with you. And I hope that part was extremely valuable. And I'm glad we have a couple minutes. We're doing awesome on time. But one of the things I also wanted to share was just really getting out there and being in action. So, to get to the point to where you have these presentations, filling up, and where you have people that are coming in wanting to hear about Herbalife, like it takes that part of the use where talk, it takes that part to really put yourself out there and talk to people. And one of the things that I can say is the reason why I could fill up 4 appointments a day was I was doing a lot of, number one, outreach. I had written down 100 names in the very beginning of people who I knew. And it was hard for me to do that because it's hard to think of 100 people, but I just tried my best. I was like, I'm going to go literally stretch back in anybody's name. No one was off limits. But I was literally thinking of like, who are all the people that I know? And it was simply an exercise to do, get my mind going on like, all these amazing people that I know. And so I played that game because one of my mentors told me to do it. And then next thing you know, I'm also uh, I'm getting in touch with my circle of influence. It's a beautiful thing that we all have. We all know people from before Herbalife. Most of us went to school. I imagine we all went to school. We went to school. So you know people from different levels of school that you were in. Maybe you went to college. Maybe you've worked this amazing job where you know a lot of people, right? Start thinking about all the different walks of life that you've been through. And I had to really take my mind there so I can say, what am I working with right now? And if you've been in Herbalife a little bit longer, right? Maybe you've been in for 6 months to a year, and you've talked to you've gotten an amazing client base. You're 5 to 7 clients a month. You've gotten some new distributors from some of your circle of influence. It really takes building on that circle of influence and meeting new people. So I'm constantly going out and sharing my story, and I'm still not perfect at it. I'm 15K executive presidency member, and like I'm still learning how to be a better sharer. I'm still learning how to be better. But the thing about it is, don't get tripped up. Don't get tripped up on being perfect, okay? Because the people that try and have a perfect presentation never get started. Like they never get into action because they want to be perfect. And I've been there before. I've been there where I'm like, this needs to look a certain way. But the biggest thing is it actually doesn't have to look a certain way. The biggest thing is if you're passionate and excited about these products, that's going to come through and that's going to trickle over to the client. So half the time, I think I was saying, like in the beginning, I was saying like the wrong things. Because I was brand new and it wasn't perfect. But when people started to see my excitement about how I felt about the 15 pounds in the beginning that I lost, then it turned into 20 pounds. But when they could see like, oh my gosh, wow, like, Celeste she has this extra pizzazz about her. She has this extra pep in her step. Like what's going on? We want to know about that, right? Put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to shine bright. Like I'm telling you, if you're 5 pounds down or you put on some lean muscle mass, like don't be afraid to share that with people. Like I simply would put on my social media. I did not have a lot of people on Instagram. Like my very first post about Herbalife had 3 likes, okay? And I have proof. I could actually show you guys the photo as I wrap up. I have about 3 minutes, I think. We said 11:20. So, as a matter of fact, I will kind of show you because people are like, oh, like, you're big on social media. Like I had no following. When I say like no following, I mean like it wasn't about that. But I had a couple and some people from my circle of influence. I use social media as a way to pull in the people from different walks of life that I've met. Maybe they don't live with me in LA. Maybe they're up in the Bay Area or they're in a different part of the country. And I use social media as simply a way to be able to connect. It's a bridge to be able to connect with people who I used to do the business with. So it's actually funny because I'm just going to do a screen share before we get off. We have a couple more minutes. And I'm going to really show you like my very first post on social media so you can see how far I've come. And then you can see, I set an alarm this time. So you can see just exactly like the fact that we all start at the same place. Like there's nothing special about me at all. So this right here, as you can see on the left-hand side, there was nothing deep about my caption. It said back on it. That was my little studio apartment in Inglewood, California. And I'm not even smiling because I haven't been herbalized yet. But you can see I have 3 people that liked my post. But that was just me making an effort to show people that, hey, I'm like on it. And then the second picture, I'm a senior consultant in this photo. This is my first Herbalife event. I thought it was a workout. That's why I'm dressed in workout clothes. But, thank God that the Herbalife community still treated me nicely and they didn't shun me from community forever. They just said, come in, it'll still be great, no problem. And but I was getting excited. So now I have 13 likes this photo. Okay, so we're moving on up in like 13 likes. That's amazing. And then as you can see, this right here was one of my posts. I'm starting to get into my triathlon training. I'm doing swim. I just swam like I want to say 50 laps, and I was excited. Okay, so this is my first summer in Herbalife. I'm training for a triathlon. My confidence is going up. I kind of have that face like, let's go. This not smile face is different. My not smile faces in the past were from me being sad or not really happy with myself. This was more of like a bad girl type of vibe, like doing it. I just slammed 50 laps. And so I put the caption, you either want it or you don't. You can see this is 268 weeks ago, okay? And that very first comment was somebody who commented and he said, you still haven't put me on. Okay, so this is 268 weeks ago. So I have 24 likes. Now we're moving on up, okay? One of the likes is from my mentor and my upline. But as you can see, by documenting your journey and just putting it out there that you're living this healthy, active lifestyle, whatever it is, you never know who you're going to attract in. So this was a client that I attracted in off of social media. I knew him. He's part of my circle of influence because I lived in DC for a while. And then next thing you know, I'm about to wrap it up right now. But next thing you know, he ended up starting as a client, and now he's one of my top distributors on the team. So just like that, by sharing it and putting yourself out there is amazing. And you never know who you're going to bring into your business by just being authentically yourself. So that's my time, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and pass it back. Thank you.